That's the key word, control. And Lake Placid, it was out of my control. It was out of Randy's control. Yeah, that very good question. Very good subject to bring up because I am a bit of a control freak, if you want to say that. And it worked in the ice rink and in the ice shows and blah blah blah. In real life, it kind of backfired with me. You can't control everything. That's sometimes you just have to let it happen, and that's something I learned through therapy, years and years of therapy, to just sort of let it organically happen. Don't try and control everything. I have to catch myself with my son. Let him experience and let him make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. You don't need to be perfect. And I know, Jenny, you know something about the whole, yeah, I know what this is leading to.
Yeah.
Exactly what this is leading to. Get some water.
Yeah. Take your time.
Being perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, Tai, as you kind of catch your breath and we all take a break, I think and many people in the skating world know that I struggled for many years with perfection, with an eating disorder while I was training, and I wrote about it on my website. And as I was watching the videos of you and Randy, I was just struck by the aesthetic that you had on the ice. It was so beautiful and something that so many skaters have tried to emulate. And I was wondering, because after I wrote that, I got such a response from skaters today and my former competitors saying that they struggled with problems with body image, eating disorder, trying to achieve that aesthetic on the ice. So was this something that you saw in the 70s and 80s was a problem in skating like we see it today?
It was there. I didn't notice it. I was young. I remember exactly, and I talked to Mr. Nix about this much later. Recently, if he would ever change anything, what would he change in his coaching, in the way he coached, in the way he brought us, his students up, and how he treated us. I was 12 years old when I first got weighed in. Maybe weighed 70 pounds. I was a little, as you saw in the footage, I was a child. But that's being a pair skater, that's what you do. So I think Mr. Nick said if he were to change anything, he would change his weighing in of his girl skaters. He now looks back at that as a mistake, and he saw he saw the repercussions of it later with some of the, when we got older. And some of us dealt with it in not so positive ways. But when he did weigh me in at 12 years old, 13 years old, that's when the seed was planted. That's when the diet started. That's when I started, learning about body image and learning that being a pair skater, I've got to stay small and I've got to control my weight. And still to this day, it's a control thing.
I agree.
I would love to, and I'm dealing with it now. It's still early on, and it's still baby steps. I'm just getting, now getting through alcohol recovery, which I'm so proud of. And this sort of this eating problem, this eating disorder, kind of slipped under the radar for me at 53 years old. And so I'm learning about it. It's scary. It's what am I trying to say? Right now I would just love to learn to embrace a meal, embrace a dinner, and not the next day think, oh my God, I had this. What am I going to do? Will I fit into these jeans? Will I fit into this costume? It's all that at 53. You just never think it's going to happen. And it happened to me. It's happening.
And this was something that just started to seep in, because I know from my experience, I can just relate so much. I'm getting teary. My heart goes out to you because I know how hard it is when no one starts out thinking, I want to have trouble with food, or I want to look a certain way.
Right.
It's so
Right.
insidious, and it starts to bleed into your life, in every facet of your life. And like you
Absolutely.
talk about the seed being planted, you can think of these, they're almost like photographs, like
Yes.
flashes of moments of stepping on the scale, like you talked about with
Yes.
Mr. Nix. Maybe
Yes.
someone making a comment, this or that. But if you could just go back to that one moment, but there isn't a moment, it just
Yeah.
bleeds in, and then it takes over your whole life. So I was
Yes.
wondering, you talk about Mr. Nix not weighing his skaters now. What
Yeah.
role do you think for pair skaters? Is it something, because we see this so much, is it the comments coming from the coach? Is it just this unspoken thing in the skating world where you have to be a certain way? Because as you say, it will affect you no matter what age you are for the rest of
Yeah.
your life.
Yes. I think it's society. I think it's, we pick up a magazine. We'll pick up Vogue or, whatever, In Style magazine. And Jenny, we see the girls. We know what they look like. They're this big.
Unhealthy. And use Photoshop too. That
Exactly. And wearing the most fabulous clothes. And we go into a store and I don't know about you, but I've got jeans that say size 0.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know when that size 0 bull started happening. Size 0 means nothing. So I wear a size nothing? It's all of these mind games and it's not just the skating world, but we skaters, dancers, gymnasts are exposed to this. We want to fit into the cool clothes. We want to look like, we want to look hot like the girls in the magazines. It's just the way it is. Well, it's not just us.
And we're told that that's attractive.
Right.
That looking like a little child is attractive. And
yeah. I jump on the scale now. I don't jump on the scale.
Let me go weigh myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll see a number. It's low. It's low for me. It's because that's where I am right now. And I've heard people are talking about it because they see photographs on Facebook, and it's a different body. I will say this: when I stopped drinking, I lost 5 pounds like that. So that was the start of it. And my body is just a different shape. Mm-hmm. But I'll be on the scale. I'll see a certain number. I won't say what the number is. I'll just tell you it's low. And something clicks really crazy. And I'll go back to when I was that weight as a teenager. And I'll feel good about it. There's something cool about that. But that's the scary part of the disease. Because it's not cool. And it's not healthy. But that's, and that's what I'm working on. And it's just learning to embrace food. And, don't always have a Caesar salad. Have a pasta. Have it, enjoy it. I watch Food Network and it looks so good, but something says don't go there. And there's no reason to not go there. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating in a way. Scary. It's powerful. But just know I'm working on it as many skaters and gymnasts and dancers are. It's part of our lives, and I hope young girls are watching this and listening and just know that they're not alone. And I give you credit for opening up, Jenny.
Thank you.
With your blog. I locked right into that. I even typed something, just not a lot. I went, oh, I get it, not knowing that we'd be talking about it right now.